Hi, this is Carin Camen, and you are listening and watching to the Hats That I Wear video series training. This is where I am breaking down the different roles in an information architect project. So today we are going to talk about visual design. Let's get that going. What is visual design? Visual design is if the visuals support and provide support for the interaction, then what occurs is a couple different things. First of all, there we go. We are going to talk about user research and strategy. User research and strategy provides the background of data that then they are able to provide to UX design. UX design then initially will create what is called a wireframe. This is basically just, black and white boxes and lines, being able to demonstrate this particular box on this page represents a paragraph. This particular box on this page represents a picture. This particular box on this wireframe page represents a navigation button. And it's just black and white. You can whip those out fast and be able to start having a discussion on the initial layout of a page. Then what they do is they take that and they hand that over to the user interface. Remember, if you touch it and that's user interface, that is the buttons that talks about. We talked about all of those. I'm not going to go into in depth on there. And visual design, making it look very aesthetically pleasing. They can be the very same person, or they could be two different individuals. Normally it's two different individuals, but I have seen where it's been the same person. Now what they end up doing is they end up creating a visually appealing and aesthetically appealing site based on company branding, product branding. And when that is done, and when that is done really well, then you have this really nice, phenomenal user experience. What we're trying to do is we're trying to create an emotional response when we are creating all of these things and putting it together. There are going to be times when we want that emotional response to be anger. If there is some atrocity that is occurring and we want to engage emotionally with a part of you that will say, this is not right and I need to take action. So we may end up going and showing visual design images that are appalling, because that's real. That is actually what is going on, and showing you the effects of what is happening in order to be able to give you the truth of the information and also be able to get you engaged to say, enough is enough. We need to create action. It could be that we have a human interest story that we want to have you be able to create an emotional response of sadness in order to take action. It could be something that an individual has done that has to another individual that has long-term, serious long-term ramifications. Not only to themselves, but to their family, to their loved ones. That would be an emotional response that we would want to instill, heartache and sadness, of sympathy, of appreciating the pain that has occurred, in order to take some action, in order to be able to make it so that you have an emotional response to act. And it could be, you're not going to get that one here. Let me go back so I can talk about it. Sorry about that. It could be, there we go. It could be we want to have an emotional response of having you to question your previously preset thought patterns. And just be open to maybe looking at another point of view by using visual design in harmony with words, in harmony with data, all of those, to think and maybe ask yourself, you know what, I never looked at it that way before. I never looked at it in that point of view. And maybe I need to rethink things. Maybe I need to relook at things. So it may be, this is kind of tugging into my, I need to have greater thought on this. So that may be an emotional response that we want to try. And then, of course, we have the happy face. Of course, we would like to have times where you're just simply happy and you're giving us lots of thumbs up and lots of 5 stars and lots of positive comments. You know, those are times when we definitely want to make sure that we are creating a very happy response for you. So that is the depth of visual design. It is a lot more than just a pretty picture or a pretty website. Visual design, there is a lot of psychology that goes behind it in order to attach an emotional response that we're trying to do. So when we are looking at visual design, one of the questions we have to look at is, what is the emotional response that we are wanting to have from the end user? And it takes a combination of left brain and right brain work. Everything that I'm showing you here is left brain, right brain work on every single role. And that breaks, remember going back to I have to rethink this? Because most people think when it has design at the end of it, it's all right brain work, but it's not. And that's why you're starting to see more and more job descriptions not saying UX design, but saying UX architect, visual architect, information architect. And they're eliminating the word design is because they're finally, the industry is understanding this isn't just, you need more than just somebody who can be really creative and create something that's wow factor. You've got to have the left brain strategy to make sure that the wow factor is guiding and leading the user in the direction that you're wanting to go. And that requires left brain, right brain. Does that mean that the individual is a unicorn? No. It just means that they're able to have critical thinking to be able to go and validate the reason why they're creating the visual design, and being able to defend that if they need to, but being able to be open-minded that maybe they missed the mark and they're going to have to go back and look at the data from UX research in order to make sure and look and talk about business needs, talk about marketing needs, talk about sales needs, and make sure that the visuals design is meeting its mark. So that is visual design. Let's see what we're going to talk about next. Yes, data visualization. You are definitely going to love this one. This one is definitely strong left brain, but you still got to have that right brain in there. So our next module will be data visualization. This is Carin Camen. You know the drill. Thank you for watching.